So today we are going to talk about a topic called as how to do a literature review. So first of all, what is a literature review? It is one of the most important steps in a research process, and the main purpose of a literature review is to convey the readers about the knowledge and idea of already published work, and it aims to review the critical points of knowledge in a research paper. Because if you see if you take a research paper, it will have so much of literature to read. But a literature review, what it does is it summarizes it into one paragraph or two paragraph for the reader to understand clearly. So why it is important? It is important for the identification of a research problem. Without doing literature review, no one can identify a research problem from the research papers and research done by different individuals all around the world. So it is very much important for identification of research problem, and it is used for determination of gaps in already completed research. Like if you take a research, they will have some gaps. They will have some research gaps, and that gap will give us an idea to take the research furthermore in order to present something useful to the society. And it is also used to discover unanswered questions. In all the research papers, if you see, there will be so much of topics explained, and you can see so much of unanswered questions while reading all the research papers. And a literature review will help you in discovering all those unanswered questions. In identification of relevant theoretical framework for research problems, it is nothing but the same thing of identification of a research problem that we have in the first point. It is nothing but there will be so much of theories which will be explained in research journals in all around the world. So it gives you a theoretical framework for all those problems in order to have a clear view on your research. So how to do a literature review? Now in the before three slides we have seen about what is a literature review and what are the purpose and uses of a literature review. And now we will see about how to do a literature review. So this is a schematic representation of a literature review. First of all, a researcher will take all the background information from relevant sources. Like we have primary sources and secondary sources, which I will explain in the next slides. But now we will talk about the background, which is nothing but relevant information, legal information from taken from research journals, from books, and these are the primary sources. And if you see the secondary sources, they are from magazines, newspapers, which are not authorized by any journal or any research institution. So we have to take background information, and we have to justify why it is important, and then what research has been performed and what has been found out from all those papers and all those from the researchers. And we have to show the specific area that we are interested in our field of research. And we have to do further more reading, which is nothing but we have to search for the current ideas and hypotheses in the area that we are interested in. And from there we have to write key research questions that remains unanswered. So these are all the things which will be useful in order to complete a literature review. That's why this schematic representation is like a inverted triangle. So now if you see, these are the primary source and secondary source in which we can take our relevant information from. And the primary source is nothing but the published literature, which is nothing but research journals from well-versed journals like Elsewhere, and then IEEE, like that. We have so much of journals, and from there we have to take our primary source of information. And for secondary source of information, we cannot publish it in our own paper itself, because we don't have any author for that, we don't have any proof for that. So secondary source of information will only support our own knowledge, and it won't support our paper also. So always you have to stick to the primary source and not to the secondary source. So these are the steps to be followed in order to do a literature review. First, we have to do bibliography, and then we have to do thematic organization, and then we have to do more reading, and then we have to write individual sections. It's nothing but we have to write individual topics, and then we have to correlate all those topics, and then that will be the completion of our literature review. So first, what is bibliography? So in bibliography, it's nothing but we have to read articles, books, and other types of literature, and based on the information gathered, we have to give annotations, and that will provide us for later uses. Like annotation is nothing but we are just highlighting it, highlighting all the important information. So while writing our own paper, we can refer all those informations, and we can write our paper as strong as possible. And then thematic organization, which is nothing but we have to organize our literature under our preferred topic. So we have to choose different topics. In our research we have to choose different topics, and in that topic we have to organize the literature from the research journals that we studied before. So from there you have to take information, and then you have to put that in our own topics, and then we have to establish coherence between the different topics, which is nothing but relation between the topics, and then more reading. So after we choose our own path of research, after we choose our own question for research, we have to do more reading. Like we have to look for more literature. Based on that literature or knowledge gained through primary reading, we have to try to search for more related literature, so that it will be very much useful uh, in gathering more and more knowledge. So if we gather more knowledge in our own path, in our own path of research, our research will be in the most effective way as possible. And then we have to write individual sections. It's nothing but we have to write individual topics, and we have to write an in-depth view on the related topics. After that, we have to integrate all those topics, provide relation between those individual topics. In that way, the paper will be more interesting, and the paper will be more useful for others to refer and gain more knowledge. So these are all the steps that we have to follow while doing a literature review, and that is the end of my presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much.